Um, so this is a comment on my YouTube channel. This from Alimi Emmanuel. He said, "Hello, Big Boss. What is your take and review on Peugeot 408 as we are looking to buy it soon?" I know it's 2 months old comment, but at least somebody else could learn from that. Now, I believe what he meant was first generation 408. 408, I mean. So in that case, that's T7. So the T7 is basically almost like um, 308 T7 saloon. So I gather there's also another form of saloon of 308 that actually has 308 as a badge, but it's saloon. However, this particular one has a 408 badge, but it's still 308 um, of that production. This I'm talking about 2012 408. So it's not the second generation. So and also going to limit it to Nigeria. I know it was sold in some countries like some Asian countries, Latin America countries, and the rest. Think so. So anyway, so let me show you the model. Believe he wants to buy or asking questions for. So this is the one I'm referring to. So this is the exterior. This is what it looks like. If you take a good look at it, it looks like that of 308, but not identical. But it has that phase 2 T7 look a little bit, but different. Um, so this is the rear view. Let's see. So you can see the badge behind it 408. So of course from the rear, it's not doesn't look like 308, but except those that 308 model that is also saloon. Um, Now this interior, from interior, of course you can tell obviously this is a 308. So yeah, look at the dashboard, the instrument panel. Basically that's how 308 looks like. Even if there is a change or a difference, just something very minor. Now for the one sold in Nigeria, this is the only engine you will find, EW10A. They were sold brand new in Nigeria, so I don't think you'll find any imported one. It's possible, but like I said, like majority, like 99% of 408 you find in Nigeria on the Nigerian road were the ones that were sold brand new in Nigeria. And this is the only engine that the ones they were sold in Nigeria had. And they also had only automatic transmission, which is 88. It's a 4-speed automatic. The automatic gearbox and replace AL4 you find in 307, 406, 407. The ones uh okay, so this engine is good. It's naturally aspirated, about 143, 145 horsepower, and 200 new meter torque. And yeah, the only thing you find different is, I think, the intake manifold. They are not the same. Yes, they are not the same with the one you find in 407 and 307, same engine. So they are not the same. I mean, look at the throttle body. The throttle body is also not the same, completely different. If you know about for EW10A in 307, 407, you can tell they are not the same. Even 807 has EW10A. So the engine is good. I like it. The only thing that it doesn't tolerate is abuse compared to the earlier 2.0 replaced, which is EW10J4. So this one doesn't tolerate abuse at all. Only one engine oil is recommended, which is 5W40 with Peugeot certification B712296. That's the only oil recommended for it. The one of the weaknesses of this engine is the vacuum leak will mess it up. any form of vacuum leak on the throttle body, on the cylinder head cover, or what we call as valve cover, especially on the intake side, it will mess up the engine. You start going into limp mode. So we'll assume that the throttle body has failed. No, most times going to the limp mode issue on this engine doesn't necessarily mean it's your throttle body. So you have to diagnose, scan first. From there, you know which one, or either it's throttle body or this. So this throttle body is different from the common ones you find in 407 and 307. So you might not be able to get a used throttle body of this engine in 408. It most likely will be a new one. It's possible to get used one, but because it's unique to this engine, so you may not be able to get used one. So it has to be new. New is always better anyway. Um, so you can see some differences with the attachment like this on 408. You can see mechanical power steering pump, unlike 407 and 307 that has a electric power steering pump. And it's same engine, just few changes on the accessories here and there. Okay, so I see it's automatic transmission. So one thing about this car, if you want to buy it in Nigeria, number one, it doesn't have good resale value. So if you are buying, buy to enjoy. So if you want to resell, don't expect uh, that you may get a good, what I mean, you may get high return from the sale. You probably may not. It's not a common car on Nigerian roads, so because of that, not everybody will be interested to buy. So that will affect the resale value. It's not like a car that there are cars are not common that will be more expensive. In this case, it's not necessary. It's not an outstanding car to make it to cost high because it's not common. But it's good. It's just like I said, I just regard this car as a 307 saloon. 308 T7 saloon. That's all. Even though there's also another dedicated saloon of 308 T7, but also not sold and not sold in Nigeria. So, but this is still remains the saloon version of T7 308 as far as me or myself is concerned. So the another downside is it comes only in automatic transmission, the one sold in Nigeria. But the one sold outside Nigeria had the option of manual. In fact, they also have option of other engine model, including I think diesel. I think there's one that had diesel engine as well. The ones they can get outside, buy outside, and other engine. I think one also there's a country in Asia that also got a turbocharged one. The other engine models you can get it 480 with, but you have to import them. If you want the one sold in Nigeria, it has to be only EW10A, which is this engine. That's the only one they sold it with. There's also an exception, but I say by standard, like 99%, at least, let me leave it at 95 in case. 95% of 4A sold in Nigeria new or had EW10A. So with automatic transmission, which is 88. It just behaves the same way like AL4 it replaced. Even if there's any difference, not much. So because it comes only in automatic transmission, if you decide to convert it to manual in future, you might find it hard because the conversion kit will not be available here in Nigeria unless you now have to figure out how to get conversion kit from other cars that had this engine to do the conversion. For example, 307 T6 had this engine and the manual transmission. So the gearbox from the 307 with this engine, I believe we'll be able to mount. As for the engine, no, the gearbox mount bracket, I don't know whether that on 307 will be able to fit in on 308 or this 408. What else? The drive shaft, maybe the one from 307 might work. So if you get drive shaft of manual EW10A in 307, you might be able to work on 408, or it may not be long enough, so you may have to figure out how to increase the length of the drive shaft. What else? The other, what's it called? The engine mount bracket on the right side. The one Nigeria has called shaft hanger. The 307 might work, probably, since it's going to be the same drive shaft. So I don't know. But you see, the only way you have to figure out from other car, you may not be able to get everything from 307. Probably, I don't think anything from 407 will work. It's possible. See, it has to be, it won't be plug and play. You have to keep trying. If I may put it this way, it's going to be an experiment. You will spend and spend. You will be buying some things that will not match, and you may not recover your money back. You may also have to import, because there are also 308, T7 308 they produce with this engine, but not sold inside Nigeria. Or I'm yet to see the 308 factory one they imported as used with this engine. It's possible, I'm not saying, but since they sold them in Europe, so I expect them to be available for sale in Europe, just as Nigeria don't buy and ship them in. So if you can get that kit from 308, it may likely work for you, the conversion kit. So my point is, it's not going to be like, the way we convert other Peugeot cars from auto to manual. So if you are buying it, understand that you are likely going to be stuck with it. People like us, like myself, I could buy and convert, even if it take me 5 years to gather all the parts to do it. It may cost me even more than the same amount of money I purchased the car with to do the conversion to manual. So if you are not an enthusiast, don't bother. That's my point, because people don't understand until you get into it. Okay, so that's my point. So it has to be this automatic if you are buying, or you go and import, go to Asia, go online, see if you, or have somebody over there in Europe, not in Europe, Asia, whatever. See if they can help you import one with manual, even if it's not this engine, whatever engine he has, import use, you know. So that's the only drawback. Another drawback is the 88 automatic transmission. If you're okay with AL4 behavior, then you won't find 88 a problem. So if you have used a 307 automatic, 406 automatic, with 4-cylinder engine, 407 automatic with EW10J4 engine, you will have issue using 408 sold in Nigeria. Like I said, even though the gearbox in 408 is replacement of AL4, which is meant to be an improvement on the AL4, but they tend to still behave the same way. It may last longer than the 408, but still than the AL4, but no, I don't know. I can't tell you whether it gives the same headache like AL4. I just don't enjoy driving. To put it in a different way, I don't enjoy driving 408 because of this automatic transmission. Not because the transmission is bad, or it's just I don't enjoy driving these transmissions. And because of that, even with all the power this engine produces, I'm not saying it has so much power, but 2.0 on these smaller cars can be quite fun to drive. So the transmission doesn't help. But if you are the automatic transmission type, hey, you won't find it easy. But expect higher maintenance cost because of the gearbox. What else? The body parts, it might be there, but not that. I don't know. It may not be easily available everywhere. Remember, this is not a common car on Nigerian road. So don't expect that every Peugeot shop you enter will have the body parts. The engine parts is not a problem. It's the body parts I'm saying. So if you are driving, it means you have to be very careful. Of course, people still get accident and fix theirs, but it may cost more than the other since it's not common. That's my point. Cars that are not common, You won't find a lot of car pass sellers dealing on their pass because, for example, in a town, there might not be anyone in that town that drives 548 since it's not a common car in Nigeria. So in that case, why would sellers go and buy pass for the other? There's nobody that's going to buy it from there. So that's my point. So you need to be sure if you are buying, know that you can't be doing rough driving bumper to bumper drive. You wreck it, you might find it hard to fix the body. Or you eventually may have to be ordering it outside your place. Though if you live in Abuja, it might not be a big issue to get the body pass in Abuja or in any northern part of Nigeria. If you live in Lagos, it might be an issue. Because remember, Lagos import use pass mostly from Europe, not so much from Asia. So meaning you might not be able to get such body pass in Lagos. It's only not people here in North that bought 408 new. So you get most of the pass here. I'm not saying you won't find it in Lagos, but you most likely the body pass will be more available here in the north than in the west or eastern part of Nigeria. I'm just saying. But the engine pass, those ones are no problem. Share the same pass with 407, 307. So as EWTA is concerned, excluding few accessories that I mentioned, like the throttle body, intake manifold, the rest. So I don't know what else to say. But like I said, in terms of the look, how does it look? I find it looks better than 308. To be very honest, yeah, I like how the car looks than the 308 T7. I appreciate it, especially the black color. Whenever I see it, wow, it looks very good, especially with that chrome body detailing. Wow, it looks cool. If I let's assume I buy a 408 tomorrow for whatever reason I decide to have one, even if it's not a black color, I'll change it to black. Oh man, it looks very good. The black is exceptional. It looks good. Other color, they are very black. Man, oh, black is outstanding. Just make sure it has those chrome all around the body. Ah man, you appreciate one. No, 408 looks very cool, man. I won't. Not because the gearbox is not automatic gearbox is not my thing. Doesn't mean if I see a good thing I won't appreciate it. No, I do like those black colored ones. They look good, you know. So so if you want to buy in terms of mechanical suspension, same issue with 307, 308, they are all similar. So even if there's a difference, especially the front shock absorber mount, they use the same thing. So every once in a while you speak, hearing the noise here and there. The mount is is weak, one of the weaknesses of the car. So I don't know what else to say except that it's as if you are driving a 307, a newer 307 saloon. Let me put it that way. Or a better looking 307, a better looking saloon 307. That's the only way I'll put 408. That's the only way. A better looking 307. So, I mean, 307 maintenance is not that high. So, that's a good thing about 408. It's just that when it comes to body parts, that's where people like me is not a problem. Not saying you may, something, shit happens. You may be driving, you lose your brake will fail, you hit somewhere, or something will happen, you lose control, the vehicle veered off and car smashes. Or you park your car, so one idiot will come and hit your car. Stuff like that does happen. But I'm saying on the normal basis where people always quit their car almost every day and they are going out, it is normal thing for them to every once in a while they must hit their car because of the stupid way they drive. You can't give a car in front of you gap. You must be very close. In fact, if your bumper front bumper is not touching the rear bumper of that car, you are not comfortable driving. You must get so close because I don't want to give any kind of car. Why won't you be hitting cars every year and then all the time? So that's the thing. So in that case, you may not enjoy driving for it. It's as simple as, because by the time bills to start climbing, the body parts, then you understand. Um, so the other, I'm not saying these are the only weaknesses. There could be other ones. I can't think of off my head right now. I've driven quite a number of them. I've worked on quite a number of them. Yeah. So they are good. They are good, but if I'm to advise, let's assume, okay, by standard, which one would you want? I would say get a 307. You want this? Get a 307 with this engine. Get a 307 with the for EW10A engine. That's me. You know, because 307 is just get a 307. The only thing you say, oh, 307 is older. I get that. It will look a little bit dated compared to 408. 408 look newer. Uh, you know, but I'll get a 307. That is me. If you're asking me, you since availability of parts, that's where I'm looking at. Body parts, at least. Then for someone like me, manual transmission, I have that option in 307. So if 408, but the reason why you go for 4, if you must be automatic no matter what, then 408 might be a better option as long as you're a gentle, no, you are a careful driver. Yeah, 408 might make more sense. But then remember that when you want to resell 308, the resale value is higher. So even 307 costs more than 408, even though it's an older car. I'm talking about based on if both are in the same standard, as in terms of condition, they are the same. 307 will cost you more, will cost more to buy than 408 because of demand. Right, so that's what I'm saying. So nothing is wrong with 408. But I want I want people to always know the truth. Stop living in delusion that thinking that no, everything must be perfect. If it's not perfect, then something is wrong. No. Always ask for the downside of what any car you are going for. If you focus only on the upside, the positive, everything, you will regret it. Because the downside, knowing the downside is not going to stop you from buying the car. But what it does is, can I live with this downside? Or is the other downside, am I more comfortable with the negative of the other car than this one? That's what it does. You now apply logic and then go for one you find more ease to own than the one that the downside. Because the downside of this car, the negative of this car might be a big deal to you. But some other person, no, it's not. The other person may even be what he likes the car is even because of the downside or one of the reasons. But to you, no, I don't want to do. For example, some people, gearbox is not an issue. Gearbox failures may not be a big deal. If you tell them, oh, if you buy this car after 2 years, you might change the gearbox. It's okay, fine. But you tell the person, oh, for this car, if you buy it, a gearbox will not fail, but the engine will, every once in a while, your engine will fail. You say, no. I would rather keep changing gearbox than change engine. Same thing with another person. You might consider same car that the other person say, oh, the gearbox is a no for me. No, the gearbox is okay for me. If it fails every 2 years, I'm okay with that. The person will be like, no, I can't deal with gearbox failure. If this gearbox is not dependable, I will not bother. I would rather get one that engine fails than suffer gearbox failure, because I knew what I probably passed through in my previous 2 cars or whatever. I was, so I don't want that kind of headache again. So that is what I'm saying. So get to know the downside and know if it's something you are comfortable with. That's the problem with women. They always look at for what is the positive, what's the no you. then you are too childish. Let me put it that way, because you have not understand this physical life. If that's how your mindset is when it comes to car, there's no car that will not give you headache. When I mean headache, I mean there's no car that will not have a weakness. No car, no matter how, even all this is Corolla, if you buy it, then you are a liar. But if you buy Toyota Corolla, it will never give you problem. Buy a Camry, it will never give you problem. You are a liar. You are lying. You are deceiving another person saying that. They all have their issues, just as some of the issues that people can comfortably live with. But to say, oh, it won't give you any problem. In fact, you just put for a change oil. You are the worst liar person I've ever earth has ever met or experienced. If you ask me, that's how I see you. To say that kind of, or maybe you are too. I would say, okay, you are too ignorant and you're just repeating propaganda. You have no, you don't even know what you're saying. No car does not have it. Just as some might be something minor to you, but to some other person, it's a big deal. There was somebody that was saying the other day that starter. You see that thing called starter motor that Nigeria so can call Kickstarter. The person says, but what thing he will do is to buy a car that the starter will ever give issue every once in a while. They call, those of us that use 504, their starter motors tend to give issues every once in a while. The person said, oh, one of the worst thing he hate about, in fact, he said he hated 504. Somebody said that. He said he hated Peugeot 504. Why? He said because every now and then the starter is failing. That's one worst car he has ever experienced. Because of starter motor. That's what I'm saying. This is a car almost the whole world he loves. Everybody is clapping. Yeah, 504. Never say die. This one, that one. Legend. This. But the person said this is the worst car I ever owned because of what? Starter motor that is not dependable. Every now and then it's having one or two issue of starter motor. There you have it. That's what I'm saying. But some other person will say like this is a very stupid thing to say. How can you say this guy did because of this minor issue or minor weakness? But I don't know. It doesn't matter. Even if I say everything, you see some people that will come along and say, no, this car doesn't give any problem. Avoid this car. This car it has all the headache. Come and buy the one I drive. It doesn't give any kind of problem. I don't blame people that make those kind of claim. It's the people that believe them that I call you must be a fool. But I also can understand that some people do not know anything about cars. So this might be their first car experience. So yeah, they can easily be deceived because or believe such claim because they don't know. So if somebody is saying such thing, they will assume that it must be speaking the truth. If you don't have experience or something, how will you know whether the person is telling the truth or not? Especially if the person sounds very convincing. Okay, so that is it for it. So I believe this guy must have learned something from here. So please ask more questions like this. I'll make out that it's not as if I don't go through some of these questions being raised on my YouTube channel. Just as sometimes I'm looking for something that I know I've not tweeted or want to update or give new information, or I find more. I just find I'm more excited to explain, or do a video on that than others probably have done many times. So when I see these some questions, just go to my videos. You will find the answers you are looking for there. So I'll make out time. Like I said earlier, I always want to create an avenue where people can call, we'll talk. Even if you have questions like this, we can talk, we'll record it, publish it. The Zoom appears not to be working because I did an update, unfortunately, so they cut me off from Naira Premium. So now to do the premium Zoom where you can do video call or Zoom meeting for more than 40 minutes, you have to pay thousands of dollars monthly, not even thousands of dollars monthly. So come on, why would I do pay for that? even if I have it. It makes no sense. So for now, unless they start giving that option. Before, the option was about 7,000 8,000 every month. In Naira, you pay with your Naira card. I don't mistakenly, I went and made did upgraded to Zoom workshop. Is it Zoom workroom or something? Since then, it does stop giving me that feature to pay in Naira, which was 7,000 Naira every month. Either 7 to 8,000, forgotten. So that is not cut off. So I'm considering other options. Once I get that, we'll go back to it. And I have one that I want to explore. When once I do a research on that is something that works, then I'll let you guys know. Okay, so like this video, subscribe to the channel, and watch out for more videos like this. All right.